Good afternoon. You are welcome to the second edition of this online lesson. My name is Mr. Bulus Daniel. I take English language in White Knight Academy, Baranguni, Borin, FCT, Abuja, and I handle the SS classes. Yes, you are welcome once again. Today we have a topic to discuss on. The topic is titled Pronoun. Pronoun. Now I would like to tell you or explain or give you a definition of pronoun. I know we have a general concept of the definition of pronoun. However, learning is continuous. So pronoun is a Greek word which means instead of. Combining the words pro and noun gives us pronoun. Therefore, a pronoun is any word which can be used instead of a noun. You know, we have this general definition that pronouns are words used instead of a noun. That is correct. So this definition was gotten from the Greek word pro. So the Greek word pro is the one that gave birth to the English meaning of instead of. So combining pro and noun gives us pronoun. So when we say pronoun, we are talking about words that are used instead of a noun. So we have two major words here, pro and noun. So we combine the pro noun together, we have pronoun, and it means words used instead of a noun. Is that taken? Alright, let's go forward. Pronouns are presented in three cases. We have three cases in which pronouns can be presented. These cases are, number one, we have a subjective case. Number two, we have objective case. And number three, we have possessive case. In other words, pronouns come in subject, object, and possessive forms. So pronouns come in subject, object, and possessive form. The table below shows the three forms in which pronouns are presented. Number one, we have the subject form. The subject form have the example as this: I, we, they, he, she, and it. Then the example of object forms of a pronoun is me, us, them, him, her, it. This object form is having to do with the person you are referring to. It may be yourself, it may be other group of people without you being inclusive, and it may be group of people with you inclusive, and it may be another person in a singular form, and it could be a thing as an object to be used. Is that alright? Are you following? Are you getting what we are trying to pass across? Okay, let's look at the next one. Possessive forms of pronoun. Possessive pronoun. By the word possessive here, I believe you should be able to note that possessive here means what belongs to you, what you have, what the other person has, what the group of those other peoples are having, and so on and so forth. Like we use mine as a possessive for a singular form, referring to one person, and ours for plural form of group of people, including yourself talking. Then we have theirs, we have his, hers, and its. These are, forms of pronoun in subject, object, and possessive form. Are you following what I am saying here today? Good. Let's move forward. Please note that pronouns are limited in numbers. Note that pronouns are what? They are limited in numbers. There are also conventional ways recognized as pronouns in English language. The pronouns, however, do not require determiners preceding them. We cannot use determiners to precede pronouns. What are determiners? Yes, does anybody want to try determiners? Okay, let me give you, an eye-opening on the word determinants. The determinants are words variously used to qualify nouns. They are variously used to do what? To qualify nouns. Or determinants and articles both perform the function of qualifying nouns. So when we say determinants, we are talking about, words that do what? That qualify nouns. Let me give you a few examples here. Below, I have these examples of determinants. So when we say what is a determinant, or when we mention determinant, what should come to your mind is this. One of the examples is each. We have been hearing the word each is a determinant. Therefore, we cannot precede pronouns with determinants. So when I say that, this is what I actually mean. We cannot start each, every with pronouns. So determinants are each, every, lot, a lot, some, much, a little, many, few, and so on and so forth. Are you following? So what are determinants? If somebody can remind us, determinants? I said determinants are words variously used to qualify nouns. And examples are what? Each, every, lots, a lot, some, much. Yes, I believe you are following. Is that understood? Do you get the logic now? Very good. Let's move on. Now let's take a look at the classifications or types of pronouns. Classification or types of pronouns. We have these types of pronouns here. I'd like us to listen very carefully as I take them one after the other with brief examples. Number one, we have personal pronouns. Personal pronouns. What is a personal pronoun? Personal pronouns are pronouns that can be used either as subjects or objects in sentences. They are used either as subjects or objects in sentences. Personal pronouns in subject form, we've mentioned that in part before. I, we, they, he, she, and it. These are examples of personal pronouns in subject. Then when we say personal pronouns in object form, we have me, us, them, him, her, and it. Is that taken? Then let's go to number 2. We have possessive pronouns. Possessive pronouns, I've mentioned that in part before. When we say possession, we are talking about what belongs to you or what belongs to somebody. So, possessive pronouns are words which indicate possession of things. Words like yours, theirs, hers, his, mine are examples of what? Possessive pronouns. For example, you have a sentence like this in the usage of sentence. Here you have your shirt is good, but mine is better. Mine is underlined here as the possessive pronoun. So mine is an example of possessive pronoun. Is that taken? Alright, let's move forward. The next one we have is demonstrative pronoun. Demonstrative pronouns. These pronouns usually come before a verb and they make reference to persons. They indicate positions, far or near. So demonstrative pronouns indicate positions far or near. For example, we have this is the man. This is the man. This points out that the man is near. The number 2 example we have that is the man. That indicates that the man is afar. Are you following? Yes, that is the example of a demonstrative pronoun. Is that taken? Good. Let's move forward. The next is interrogative pronouns. Interrogative pronouns. These pronouns are used to ask questions. If you like, we can say interrogative pronouns are pronouns that come with WH questions. Who, what, which, whose, whom, and so on and so forth. Now let me give us an example here for you to understand in the usage of sentences. Number one, who wrote the book? You can see that the interrogative pronoun there is asking a question. Who wrote the book? Then number two, what is your name? What is your name? So they are all interrogative in nature. And we have them like that: who, what, which, whose, and whom. Are you following? Please ensure you are jotting something down. Ensure you are following the lesson very carefully. Let's take the next point. We have indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns. Indefinite pronouns are not specific when referring to persons or things. They are not specific when referring to persons or things. In other words, they do not give the actual name of the doer or receiver of the action of a verb. For example, we have somebody. So examples of indefinite pronouns are what? Somebody. That somebody is not specific. Then we have someone. The someone is not specific. We have nobody. Nobody is not specific. We have everybody. Everybody is not specific. Nothing. Nothing is not specific. Everything and anything. One or none. etc. So these are examples of indefinite pronouns. Now look at the examples of usage in sentence here. Someone stole my pen. The person is not specified. Then number two, we have I gave the book to somebody. The person is not specified to somebody. So indefinite pronouns are pronouns, that does not specify persons or things. Now let's see the next one. We have reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns. Reflexive pronouns are used to emphasize an action. Reflexive pronouns are used to emphasize an action by a person. When we say reflexive pronouns, we are saying that these pronouns used to emphasize an action by a person. For example, we have them as in your, them, her, him, it, mine. Alright, let me go further to explain to you for better understanding in usage of a sentence or examples of usage in sentences. Number one, I can do it myself. That's why we say that reflexive pronouns are used to emphasize an action by a person. So it's an emphasis by a person. I can do it myself. Myself here is an example of reflexive pronouns. Are you following, please? Good. Number two, try to see him yourself is emphasizing an action by a person. Number three, they cooked the food themselves is emphasizing an action by a person. I believe this is taken. Good. Let's go to the next one. Relative pronouns. These are pronouns which introduce relative clauses. The pronouns include WH type, what, who, whose, whom, which, and that type. Okay? So we have this as an example of usage in sentences under relative pronouns. We said the issue is what we discussed at the meeting. The issue is what we discussed at the meeting. We said that these are pronouns which introduce relative clauses. We are trying to relate an issue. We are trying to relate a sentence from one point to the other. That's why we call it relative pronoun. So the pronoun there is what? Number two, this is the boy who killed the snake. Who now is reintroducing relative clause. Who is trying to tell us the person who performed the action of killing the snake. Is that clear? That is good. Then let's take the last one, but not the least. We have reciprocal pronoun. Reciprocal pronoun. These pronouns are used to indicate actions shared between two people or among more than two people. Examples of reciprocal pronouns are each other and one another. When an action is shared between two people, each other is used. But when an action is shared among more than two people, one another is used. Do you get that? Let me take it again. When an action is shared between two people, each other is used. But when an action is shared among more than two people, one another is used. Look at this example. Number one, the two boys are praising each other. The two boys are praising each other. That's why I say when an action is shared among two people, each other is used. The number two example here of usage in sentence is the three boys praise one another. The three boys praise one another. Remember I said when an action is shared among more than two people, one another is used. Are you following? By this, we have come to the end of this lesson for today. Remember, we have talked about few things here. We've looked at the meaning or definition of pronoun, and I said pronoun is a Greek word which means instead of. So pro and noun gives us pronoun. And we've looked at the forms of pronoun. We have looked at the subject form of pronouns, object form of pronouns, and possessive forms of pronouns. And we've also looked at the classifications or types of pronouns. We say we have personal pronouns, we have possessive pronouns, we have demonstrative pronouns, we have personal pronouns, we have interrogative pronouns, we have indefinite pronouns, we have reflexive pronouns, we have relative pronouns, and the last but not the least, we have reciprocal pronouns. By this, we have come to the end of our lesson today. Please follow the assignments online and ensure you participate. Please participate. Take the assignment. Number one, define a pronoun. Number two, mention 5 classifications of pronouns. Number 3, make examples of usage in sentences for the following types of pronouns. 1. Possessive pronouns. 2. Demonstrative pronouns. 3. Indefinite pronouns. And 4. Personal pronouns. 5. Relative pronouns. Thank you and God bless you till we see